Welcome! This is a quick overview of Chemistry II Course Syllabus, Mrs. Peachy, Lee Summit High School. Please note that I will not cover all the details in here, but it is expected that you have thoroughly read this and understand what is expected of you. Here you will see a link to my school email. Please feel free to email me. Give me about 24 hours to respond. If it's a school day, and of course over the weekend, a Monday afternoon if it's a weekend. This is my phone number directly to leave a voicemail for me, and this is the school's main office phone number. Here are the course descriptions and prerequisites. Our essential standards. Essential standards are sort of the big ideas to what we're going to study, the huge topics, and we break it down into smaller topics. There are 4 of them for the year. Classroom expectations. While all of these are extremely important, I will say please make sure you communicate. If you are struggling, frustrated, don't understand how to do something, I am very, very willing to help you. I want you to succeed. I want you to learn a lot of chemistry. I am here to help you. Just have to reach out. My educational philosophy. Course materials. Whether we're hybrid or whether we're virtual, a few of these course materials are going to be the most important. So this is really set if we're sitting in seats. But if we are virtual, there are still some very important pieces. You definitely want to have a scientific calculator, somewhere to take notes, and a charged Chromebook. If we're in person, I ask that you bring a whiteboard marker, blue, black, or green. And if we're in person, you will not be allowed to use your cell phones or Chromebooks as your calculator. So you must have a scientific or a graphing calculator. While we are seated in seats and in person, you will not be allowed to have your cell phones or your Chromebooks out. They need to be in a zippered pocket. In order to use your cell phone or Chromebook, you need to be given permission each and every time for each and every person. While we're on virtual, I understand that I cannot control if you have your cell phone or not, but I will highly encourage you to keep your cell phones face down and put away so they're not distracting you. All it takes is one message to pop up and you're completely distracted and miss the piece that maybe you had just gotten or were struggling with, and now you're even more lost. So I encourage you to please keep your cell phones tucked away, off, and out of your view. Other technology that we'll use in this class will be Schoology, of course. You will need to make sure you have an Edpuzzle connected to your school account. If you need help with that, let me know. You will need to access your school email and, of course, your Google Drive. And we may or may not use use Remind. We'll just see how things go. How do you access assignments? You will be expected each and every day to go to the daily agenda every time you get into Schoology, or it's in your Google Drive, will be in your Google Drive, and check on the ongoing updates of daily announcements. So those 2 places are where you're going to start your day before you begin. Turning in assignments. All work is due on the due date. I do not accept late work. There is a little catch. I'll explain what that is. Not having your Chromebook will be treated as not having your assignment, aka not having your Chromebook charged will be treated as not having your assignment. Due dates will be communicated to you via the daily agenda or in the Schoology calendar when assigned the due date. If something is an electronic submission, make sure you take care of that by 11:59 p.m. unless otherwise stated of the due date. If we're turning something as a hard copy or paper copy, you will put that in the Chem I basket. Just realized this is mistyped. Let's try that again. Chem II basket in the front of the room when we're in person. If you're absent, it's your responsibility to make up anything you've missed. Talk to classmates, reach out to me, whatever you need to do and I can give you some grace on getting things done. Just work with me and I'll work with you. So if you're absent, make sure that you touch base with me or check on Schoology or touch base with a classmate to see what you were missing. Makeup work, extra help, those things can be done when we're allowed to be at school on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays in my room at A129 from 2:30 to 3:30. I will also have virtual office hours on Wednesdays from 10 to noon, which means you'll just get on a Google Meet and I can ask questions, have some grace if someone else is already on or talking. And then there's another session on Wednesdays virtually from 12:30 to 3. We will talk later about how that will go. Take good notes, take complete notes, because that's what you're going to refer to do your learning activities, quizzes, and tests. Learning activities. Learning activities will be graded for accuracy or for completion, in part or in whole. Learning activities are things like classwork and homework and labs. We will do as many labs as we possibly can. We may be limited this year due to the pandemic. Assessments. Assessments are formative assessments and quizzes and mastery quizzes. Formative assessments or quizzes are often graded, sometimes they're not. What is a mastery quiz? Let me explain a little bit about mastery quizzes. Okay, this is how mastery quizzes will go. Please note that this could change slightly or completely depending on how long we stay virtual and if I can figure out how to make this system work in a virtual setting. So I will give you the content you need for topics. You will do the homework, and then you will sit, ideally, in class for a mastery quiz. So you come to class, let's say we did sig figs and balancing chemical equations and what's the other topic in there? Naming and writing. That's our first quiz, most likely. So we've done the content, you've done the practice, you come in, you take your quiz, you work on your quiz for the time allotted, often the whole hour, sometimes not. And you come up and get pieces of that quiz checked, or you wait and do the whole quiz and turn it in, but I'm checking it as you are working on it. You come up to me, I stamp it. If it's right, I don't stamp it if it's not right. You go back and you process and work through that one again. And then the bell rings and you're not done. Bell rings and you're not done with that mastery quiz. You take that mastery quiz out the room with you and you work on it and get it to mastery, get it to 100%, so above mastery. You can work with friends. Note I didn't say copy. Work with friends because you're going to be expected to know how to do that same skill on a summative assessment. So you're going to work with friends, ask them for help. Again, they're not doing it for you. They're just walking you through it. You can come and see me preferred. And then you can get it checked the next day, later on in the evening, after school hours, something like that. So you take the quiz with you and you work on it, keep getting it checked until you have 100. Once you get 100, I get it and it goes in the grade book and I hang on to it till the end of the unit and that becomes your review. If you do get it done before the allotted time for that giving mastery quiz in class, often remember that's a class period or less, then, and you get 100 on it, then you get anywhere from 5 to 3% extra credit on that mastery quiz. Please come in before after school and get help with them if you are struggling. Summative assessments, those are your big unit tests. Okay, those will be weighted pretty heavy. We'll talk about that in a moment. Retake policy, always a very important piece to go over. Any formative assessment or quiz that's not a mastery quiz, you will be able to retake for an additional 2 times to try to earn a 100. Most of your quizzes, if we're in person, will be mastery quizzes. If we're mostly virtual, then we'll figure out exactly how we're going to make those run. So please be patient and compassionate and flexible with that. But you can retake any quiz or formative assessment for 2 additional times. Summative assessments, your big unit test, this is how the policy will work. You'll get a second attempt on any and all of your summative assessments. If you earn a higher score on the retake, I will give you that score. If you earn a lower score on the retake, then I will average those 2 scores. But in order to do a retake, the following things must be taken care of. You must attend at least 2 tutoring sessions when possible in person is preferred. Complete test corrections during the first tutoring session. Have completed notes from the unit of study. All mastery quizzes must be submitted, so all mastery quizzes must be 100. You won't earn any more points, but you can work on them beyond the deadline. So let's say you have a mastery quiz that you got 4 out of 5 on, you finish that last question, you're not going to get that 5th point, but you're going to be allowed to sit and take a retake. Any other quizzes need to be retaken at least once if you did not have success the first time. Complete any additional practice that I provide or encourage. Have all required assignments completed, so no late work, and complete a study guide if there is one assigned. So, once those pieces are completed, then you'll be able to retake the test. Please note that if you do any work that was late, if you sit and retake the test, I will then give you points for that late work. So the purpose of that is to get you to do the material you need and understand and dive into the material that you have so you can be successful on your retake. There'll be some kind of research project. More information will come as the semester unfolds. You'll have a semester final. Here are some expectations. And again, I apologize. Some of this I copy and pasted from my other syllabus. So here are some study expectations that I would suggest you read through. How will your grade breakdown. Your grade is going to be 90%, your A1 or A2, and then 10% final. That's very standard for how we've always done things here at Lee Summit High School. Of the 90%, 60 of the 90% will be assessments and projects, and 40 of the 90% will be learning activities. How do you contact me? Here's my email again. Here's my voicemail again. My plan period is first hour, and that will vary depending on the day. So please check this link to figure out what the schedule is. And then if you need PowerSchool sign up for your parent, then there's a link for that. Hope this helps. Please make sure you've read this thoroughly. Talk to you soon.